Welcome back, everybody. Our first guest tonight is an Emmy-winning and Tony-nominated actress, writer, and producer you know from SNL, 30 Rock, and Mean Girls. She's the co-creator and star of The Four Seasons, which premieres May 1st on Netflix. Let's take a look.
And this is not weird. This is weird. It's weird that Anne's not here, and it's weird that your girlfriend wasn't born when Reagan got shot.
What the is that metric?
It's weird that you are making us all act like this is normal.
You know what? I don't think that you should come on the paddleboarding excursion today. I'm going to tell Ginny that you are too tired.
Oh, no, I feel great. You're too tired. And I'm gonna go and I'm gonna stare you in the eyes while we float around in the weird that you created. Let's paddleboard, baby!
Please welcome back to the show our very good friend, Tina Fey, everybody. It's so nice to have you here, especially knowing that you guys are going around the country again. You and our friend Amy, the Restless Leg Tour is in full effect. Full effect.
We're back on our boat.
In Texas this weekend.
We were in Texas this weekend. We were in Houston and Dallas.
Wonderful. How did it go?
Or more specifically, Sugar Land and Grand Prairie.
Oh,
right?
Very specific. Getting neighborhood specific.
Very specific. It went great. It was great. It's our first time going back out. We were down for like a year.
Yeah.
And a lot has gotten amazing in our country in the last year.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, let's see how we're going to go out and do our topical jokes and see how it plays. And it was great. I feel like people were really thirsty for people to have a reason to come out and laugh and to hear jokes. And I do when we do a weekend update section of the show. And so I was like, okay, let's see how these jokes fly in Texas. I was ready, but mostly it was everyone's so happy. And then you can find out of 5,000 people, you can find one or two Leslie Bibb and White Lotus. One, a couple husbands' shoulders go up a little. But I also had a crazy thing the other night. We were doing the show, and there's another part of the show we were just do sort of stand-up, but I was telling a sort of serious story about losing my mom in the last year, and I looked down, and a couple in the front row started making out.
Really?
I was like, okay, Dallas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe one of them had recently lost a parent and the other one was like, I'm gonna take their mind off it?
Maybe.
I'm just gonna start hardcore macking with them because I love them.
Mac down.
Yeah.
When you see someone sad, you have to mac down on them.
Yes. That's what you do. Almost every kiss cam at basketball games is because one of them has recently lost someone.
Yes.
We saw each other at the SNL 50th. We were at a couple of rewrite tables together. Did you enjoy your SNL 50th?
I did. Yeah. Ultimately, I did. I think, like any SNL trajectory, I started off pretty grouchy.
Yep.
And then it got more and more fun. And as always, the most fun day was the doing of the show and the day of. And then it was super fun.
It was the best. You also, you were fantastic over the entirety of it, but you did a very special thing, which is during the Q&A sketch.
This was all I cared about.
You and Amy wrote it, and you had an incredible joke where Donna, the dresser for SNL, and this show as well. Donna Richards. Donna came up and had one line about who had basically, the best body of anyone.
Well, because so Donna dresses the host at SNL since 2009, or I make sometime. Don, we'll put it in post. We'll put the right number of them. But Donna, so I knew that the audience was basically everyone who ever hosted. So I thought this is Donna's moment. Everyone in this room loves her. You're so dependent on her.
Yes.
When you host, she pulls your pants off. She puts your clothes on. I've seen her physically carry Sir Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
It
was running late. She threw him, and somebody else was holding his pants.
Somebody else caused. So she is beloved, and so we wanted to bring her out. And so we did a bit with her. We asked her, Donna, who's your favorite host ever? And the joke was that she, too quickly is Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
And I made her rehearse with me so much because I was like, Donna, you got to nail the timing.
Yeah. Not
too big. And we rehearsed. Every time I walked by her for 3 days, we practiced in the hallway, and she crushed.
She crushed it. Her timing was impeccable.
Yeah.
And turns out she has a fan of the joke. this is more recently. He just saw her and just gave her a jacket.
And apparently, like, he tracked her down. Like,
Yeah.
he came all the way from the other building and was like, is Donna here?
Yeah.
So
I want to give her a jacket.
let's
By
make
the
this
way, again, Donna had never been on the show before. One line, crushed it. I would say, like, her and Spade had the two best single lines of the show. Meanwhile, I was on the show for a long time, did Update, was on every episode. You guys gave me a line in the Q&A. I was so nervous about it, I was caught running my line into my hand.
At least you knew, like, I don't want people to see my lips moving.
Yes. So instead, it's just like, it's like I'm whispering to myself, like, oh my God, I think that's Keith Richards. Not the best moment for old Seth.
Well, listen.
Yes. You have a wonderful new show, and this is based, The Four Seasons was a movie you loved.
Yes, so The Four Seasons is a 1981 movie written and directed and starring the great Alan Alda. And it was him, Carol Burnett, Rita Moreno, Len Cariou, Jack Weston. It was Sandy Dennis, this amazing cast. And when I was a kid, it came out, and it was like the early days of cable TV when there were like 3 movies that they would just show over and over and over and over, and one of them was The Four Seasons, and I loved it. And it's a movie about like middle-aged people dealing with a divorce, and I was like,
so telling that you loved that movie as a kid.
I loved it. I was like, sweaters, red wine, I'm here for this. And so I asked Alan, 40 years later, I was like, would you be interested in, would you ever let us adapt the movie? And he was like, why did you like this movie when you were 11? Are you okay? But he very generously said yes. And so we've now taken this, so the movie, it's 3 different couples, and it follows them over 4 vacations over the 4 seasons of the year. Nothing to do with the hotel. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, who could we, put together an ensemble? Like, for me as a kid to see Alan Alda pretending to be married to Carol Burnett, like, blew my mind.
Yeah. They were so, it's impossible for young people now to appreciate how famous those 2 people were in 1981.
Yeah, like a huge, big deal, yeah. It would be like if, what?
I don't know. We're not
Taylor
good at improv.
Swift was with Travis Kelce.
There you go.
Wait. And so I was like, okay, can I put together, a super group? And so I first called Steve Carell.
Yeah.
He said yes. And so once Carell said yes, then everyone else said yes. So.
You made a fascinating choice for your own husband.
Thank you.
Now, he's someone that you and I are both huge fans of.
Yes.
And that is Will Forte.
Wilbur Forte.
Yes.
Yeah.
Orville, Wilbur Forte.
So Will Forte and I play husband and wife, and our mission with this show, because it's a very grounded show, and me and Tracy and Lang, the other 2 showrunners, were like, do we think we could write a show where we make Will Forte seem like a normal human man? Like someone's like husband and dad? Like, can we do that?
Because I should note, he's like a husband and dad in real life, and it still seems weird.
Right, and he has a beautiful wife, beautiful daughters.
Beautiful girl.
But he's like the Munster to their 3 Marilyn Munsters.
I was delighted by the first episode, and he is very normal in the first episode. But you were acting with him, and so you know the whole time that he's like, not normal.
No, he's not normal
Obsessed,
at all. Yeah.
Many obsessions that you
like,
as his scene partner have to be aware of.
So we're like shooting nice scenes about, friendship and marriage, and then it'll cut and he'll be like, I've got 40,000 steps today. I got up at 4 a.m, and he's like wearing his step monitor on his ankle, like under all his costumes, and
because he wants to make sure he's getting like the steps on set too.
Yeah, they all count, and he's also like every single weekend he was doing a different charity thing, so he's always flying somewhere because he's a saint. He's a wonderful.
Yeah, if you see him on the street, ask him to do your charity. I hate that I'm doing this to Will.
He'll fly anywhere. He will do anything, and he's also we would like begin like shooting emotional scenes, and then on the breaks he'd be like, I have to learn the hot to go dance for a charity. And he'd be like, H-O-T-T-O. And he's obsessive, so he's working really hard. H-O-T-T-O. Now, a love scene.
You did receive a bit of a harsh criticism.
Well, listen.
When you released, this is when you just released the trailer. And you found this on people.com.
It's so funny because I learned 100 years ago, like I never Google myself, I never look in the internet, but this is my first time acting in a series again, really since 30 Rock.
Yeah.
And so I'm also a producer on it, and they said, okay, well, great news, we're gonna do an exclusive launch of the trailer on people.com. So as the producer and me goes to like make sure it's whatever in a good spot, checking it out. And immediately, like this is like, my return to being in front of the camera. Immediately, this gal is like the first and only comment on the trailer. Her name is Rhonda, and Rhonda said, Steve Carell's midlife crisis sends shockwaves through flawed friend group in the Four Seasons trailer exclusive. Really love the original. Sorry to see Tina Fey in this. Just a terrible actress. And I was like, I'm back! I'm back in the bin! I'm back, Rhonda!
Well, I have watched it. It's fantastic. It's great to see you on screen again. I'm so excited you and Amy are touring. I want to see the show again. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. May 1st.
Tina Fey, everyone. Four Seasons begins streaming on Netflix May 1st. We'll be right back with Gabriel Luna.